Hi friends, it's Belinda here from Be Making Joy, and welcome to my channel. This is episode 26 of What Brings Me Joy, a mostly knitting podcast where I share with you my progress so that you can hold me accountable for the things I share that I cast on, and share with you a little bit about my life. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Glad to have you back. And if you're a returning viewer, you'll notice this is not my usual podcasting spot from my home in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Today, this week, we're in Fernie, BC, the next province over, British Columbia, a 3-hour drive from our house. We're on a ski hill in the same cabin that we've been returning to the last 3 years. Our middle daughter is with us, so she and my husband are out skiing. We've been here since Friday. I'm recording now on Monday. This is the first opportunity they've had to get out skiing because the hills have been closed since it's minus 40. Mine is stupid. Minus 40 Celsius and minus 40 Fahrenheit are the same at that point. Stupid cold. So everything has been shut down. So now they're out. It's gotten up to a balmy minus 25 now. And while they're out, I'll do some recording. Today I have one finished object that I brought with me to show you. And I have a progress update on the other projects that I brought with me. A new cast on that I cast on for the drive. And I also brought with me the new color of the month for January from Ancient Arts Yarns. Let's start with my finished object. Actually, first let me tell you what I'm wearing. This is a pattern I designed a couple of years ago. It's called the Hometown Hoodie. It's in super bulky yarn, a top-down raglan, and then you pick up stitches around the collar to make the hood. Super bulky yarn, 10mm needles, and very fast knit. The Hometown Hoodie. Okay, the first finished object is my 2023 temperature scarf. I've labeled it. I brought the 2022 scarf as well for comparison purposes. 2022, 2023. So I can compare from year to year how much the temperatures have changed. So I did just one row for each day of the year. And temperature, a color that I pre-selected for certain temperature ranges. I don't know why I kept letting it fall behind because it only takes like 5 minutes per row to do, but now it's done and I'm starting 2024 at home. Let's see. I have a fuzzy blue for minus 30. Which didn't actually appear in either one of the scarves because I used the high temperature of the day. So even though it got below minus 30 a few times, it didn't stay below minus 30. But this past weekend, it certainly did. I think if I were to start it over again, I think I would choose the high of the day for days above 0 and choose the low of the day for days below 0. Would show you a more variety of the temperature range. But anyway, this is what I've done. This is what I will continue to do so that I can compare them from year to year. I did a 2020 blanket, 2021 blanket, and then I switched to scarves, 2022 scarf, 2023 scarf, and as time goes on, I will stitch them together to make a blanket. And I didn't do anything with all my tails because the scarf just kind of rolled in on itself and kind of hide those tails. So I'm happy with that as a scarf. Woof. Yeah. I think I will quickly get very warm in here. We've had the fire going. So now that I've got the two scarves laid out side by side to compare them, I can tell I've labeled them wrong. I've got the wrong label on the wrong scarf. I labeled one on the cast on edge and the other one on the cast off edge. And I put the wrong year on the wrong one. Because I know for a fact that 2023 was the milder year we had more hotter temperatures, so more of the fuzzy pink above 30 Celsius in the summer. Hence why that short scarf is a little shorter. And I know for a fact that I did not use any white in 2023. We had a mild winter until January. Before January, our coldest week was actually October 24, 25, 23, 24, 25, I think it was. Late October, and then we had a mild November and December. So yeah, I've got the wrong label on the wrong scarf. So when I get back home, I need to fix that. And I wish I had added a gray at the beginning of each month to differentiate where each month starts. So I think what I will do is take some more of this border color, split it into thinner strands, and just run a strand across at the start of each month up the scarf. Yeah. Back to the drawing board. Let's see. Next, I wanted to quickly comment on this. It was a finished object last episode, the Anthology Throw by Helen Stewart, using the Memories in Yarn set from Pearl Passion. I brought it with me because it's really nice and cuddly, even though it's fingering weight yarn and very thin and holdy. The merino in the yarn makes it really nice and warm and cuddly. So I just wanted to say again how much I love it. Oh, and I'm looking forward to making a similar one out of the Enchanted Winter Fade set from Ginger Snap that I didn't bring the yarns with me, but if you've watched my daily opening over the holidays, you saw that, and I'll insert a picture here if I'm able to of the entire fade. In completion, it's 12 skeins of 50 grams fingering weight each skein, and I want it to do a circular, and I want it to do a snowflake design. And I began first with a snowflake pattern out of an ebook I bought from Universal Yarns called A Universe of Snowflakes. And there's the first one I made. And I didn't like it. I thought it looked more like a flower than a snowflake, because snowflakes are 6-pointed and this is 8-pointed. And I know, I'm sorry, I'm distracted. There's a dripping sound. My faucet is running. Just a second. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, most knitting motifs seem to be 8 sides for a snowflake. And I know that makes them more balanced. It's easier to do them that way. And the paper snowflakes we used to make when we were kids were 8 points. But scientifically, snowflakes have 6 points. And I got hung up on wanting to make a 6-pointed one. Also, this one won't lie flat. So I examined the pattern in more detail, and every pattern in that book doesn't exactly follow a proper circle, increasing center out circle formula. So I set about to make my own. So I graphed them. So the first graph I attempted, I don't know if my lighting is good or not here. I'm sitting in the sun in both directions. I've got windows on all 4 sides of me, 3 sides of me, 4 sides of me, yeah. Anyway, so that's the first graph I attempted. It turned out to be more 12-sided than 6-sided. Nonetheless, it's pretty. I kept it, and it's flat. I mean, the edges are curled, but it will block out flat. So I'm gonna keep that as a doily. And then I went back to the drawing board. My next graph was coming along quite nicely, but before I finished it, I decided to make a change and frogged back and made a change. So there's the change, the version I've decided on. I'm quite loving that one. my 6-pointed star snowflake. Center for my circular throw I'm going to design. Now, I wouldn't say that I invented this. I followed Elizabeth Stimmerman's pie formula. And, you know, she herself doesn't say invented. She says she unvented. I want to read what she wrote in her little book. The Knitter's Almanac is where a very good explanation of the pie formula is found in this book. And then she says, she doesn't like the word invented. And then she says, but unvented. One unvents something. One unearths it. One digs it up. One runs it down in whatever recess of the eternal consciousness it has gone to ground. I very much doubt if anything is really new when one works in the prehistoric medium of wool with needles. The products of science and technology may be new, and some of them are quite horrid. But knitting? In knitting, there are ancient possibilities. The earth is enriched with the dust of the millions of knitters who have held wool and needles since the beginning of sheep. Seamless sweaters and one-row buttonholes, knitted hems and phony seams. It is unthinkable that these have, in mankind's history, remained undiscovered and unknitted. One likes to believe that there is memory in the fingers, memory undeveloped but still alive. So, I didn't invent this, I unvented it. I figured it out, and I am very pleased with it. So when I get back home, I did this sample in worsted weight yarn so that I could better see the stitches and figure it out. So when I get home, I'm going to start it with that fingering weight yarn from Ginger Snap That. And design circle out. And as we change into colors, other colors, I'll add more snowflakes. And some of them might wind up being 8-sided motifs. That's fine. I was just determined that I had to figure out a 6-sided snowflake. I think I did it. So that, as I work through the 12 color fade, I think I'll do 1 color a month. And I'll keep you up to date. Now, I also brought Ilana's cloak with me. So I'll quickly show the progress I've made on that. It's using Pokemon themed yarn, the yarn calendar from July from Fangirl Fibers. I've got 9 colors left to add before I do the hem and the buttonhole, button band, and the hood. I still have not bought those yarns yet, the red, white, and black for the Pokeball. But 9 more colors to go. So I don't know if how good a view I can give you, but there's an arm opening, a hand opening here. 9 more colors to go, and then a hem. So that's how that's coming along. Really enjoying it. No, what did I tell you everything you need to know about this? I have in previous episodes for sure. It's fingering weight yarn, and I'm using a 2.75 millimeter needles, which is the US 2. Now, before we left, I cast on a new project. I joined a knit along hosted by Irina Shar of the YouTube channel Fiber Chats, which I will link to her channel below. The pattern we're doing is the Melody Sweater. It's written by Claudia Quintanilla of Uknit Toronto. And it's a bottom up in the round. So I cast on, did the bottom trim area stuff. Can you see the patterning? The waistband's got this pretty little design, and that same design will be replicated in the yoke. And a smaller version of it in the sleeve. I did, after I got here, cast on the sleeve, so that it's ready as a purse project. can you see the sleeve detail? I'm not sure what you're seeing because I've got a light in my face. Here we go. That's the sleeve. There's the body. Perfect card knitting once I got the trim on the bottom done. Rounding around stockinette. Did I tell you the pattern's by Claudia of Unit Toronto? The yarn is the DK weight. I'm using Lion Brand Touch of Merino, which is a 90% acrylic, a 10% merino, and I'm picking up so much hair with it. I seem to have brought a bunch of cat hair in the car. I managed to hit gauge with her recommended needles of 3.5 millimeters, which I don't know the US conversion of. I was a little wary of the acrylic. It's 90% acrylic, 10% merino, but it's turning out nice. Lovely stitch definition, wonderful fabric. I love the texture in this part. The twisted ribbing in there. I love that texture. I think it's going to be wonderful in the yoke too. So I'm looking forward to that. It should be a very nice once I get all the cat hair picked out of it. I keep picking them out and they keep coming back. So why do I bother picking them out? It's slowing me down picking them out. I need to just knit and worry about it later. But I think it's going to be a beautiful, stylish black sweater to wear over top of a skirt. I'm looking forward to that. The knit along runs from January 11th to the end of February. There's weekly Zoom groups. You can check Irina, her Fiber Chat YouTube channel, which I'll link down below. You can still join in. Yeah. Just checking my notes. I think I've told you everything. I'm rambling a little bit, but I've told you everything. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to being able to wear that. So by the end of February or faster. Okay. Going to be a shorter episode. I am already on the acquisition section. I have the Ancient Arts Yarns Color of the Month by Caroline Summerfield, which I had gotten them all last year. This year is a new theme, which I'll read for you. I have to fetch the yarn and fetch the notes. Okay, here's the yarn from Ancient Arts in Calgary. As always, I get it on the sock needle blend. 80% superwash fine merino, 20% nylon. Fingering weight 385 yards per 100 gram. And let me read you the email or the Facebook post, or where did I pull this from? Written by Caroline Summerfield, the designer. It's time to announce our 2024 Color of the Month theme. In a return to some of my most beloved inspirations, it is flowers in famous artworks. Famous paintings of flowers take center stage in our artistic exploration this year. Our theme is the delightful homage to my artistic roots in hand-dyed yarn, intertwining my passion for flowers, history, art, and nostalgia with the enchanting world of yarn. Did you know that the first speckle colorway I ever designed was our very popular Little Wild Things, inspired by spring hunts for wildflowers with my mother? Oh, I must check out that color. It's a subject near and dear to my heart, and I'm excited to explore it further, she says. This year, we're set to delve into the captivating world of paintings, embracing the beauty and symbolism of flowers across various artistic expressions and learning about their painters and the eras they come from. Join us each month as we celebrate the enchanting fusion of art and nature, where every petal tells a story and each colorway blooms with creativity. Let the vibrant allure of flowers and artwork inspire your imagination. The January color of the month is called Bouchard, Still Life of Flowers, from 1614, and is inspired by Ambrosius Beauchart's The Elder's Still Life of Flowers. For my colorway, I have drawn on his fresh, joyous palette while leaving out the darks as we move into a new year. Painted in 1614, it's a prime example of Dutch Golden Age painting. The newly independent Dutch Republic was the most prosperous nation in Europe during the 17th century, and it was a leading innovator in trade, science, and art. Beauchart was one of the first artists to specialize in flower still life painting, inspired by the new genre of Dutch flower painting. He started the tradition of painting detailed, scientifically accurate flower bouquets by using softer, more realistic colors like soft pinks and lilacs. Many of his works use this palette, and he also likes to include insects, who along with the flowers are a reminder of the brevity of life and the transience of its beauty. And if my editing works, I'll put in a picture here for you of her inspiration photo of this painting that she's talking about. There's the yarns, and wow, the sun has really reflecting off of everything. That's quite a picture, but there's the color. Let's try and turn around and see if we can get a better shot of it. There we go. Oh, gorgeous. So I'll insert her inspiration photo. And as I say goodbye, let's see if I can show you outside. Lots of snow. That's the hill right there. Yeah. Okay. So until next time, the next episode should be January 31st. Happy knitting, happy crocheting, beading, jigsaw puzzle, whatever kind of creative outlet you have, go find some joy.